Juan Soto signing with the New York Mets is not an if scenario. It's a when scenario. Things are starting to progress really quickly between the two sides to the point where owner Steve Cohen is actually going to go meet with the guy and try to get a deal done. The Mets will not be outbid, and they are a serious player in the Juan Soto sweepstakes, so we'll break that down and much more on this episode of 3 Up, 3 Down. Welcome in, everybody, to 3 Up, 3 Down. I'm your host, Peter Vryonis, and today we're going to be breaking down the Juan Soto sweepstakes. It's starting to heat up, and it's heating up in a huge way. The momentum of him signing with the New York Mets, it's getting real, folks. It is getting real, and I think he's going to be playing in Queens as soon as next season. But before we get into the video, I want to let you know that a large percentage of you watching these videos are not subbed to the channel, so go ahead, hit that sub button. It'd mean the world to me. But let's get straight into the video. And this is the news. This is the major bomb that has been dropped just hours ago at the time of recording. Steve Cohen will fly to California next week to meet with Juan Soto and Scott Boras, per New York Post. And then, while there's not a team in baseball who wouldn't desire Soto, baseball executives believe the finalists for his services will be the Yankees, Mets, Toronto Blue Jays, and San Francisco Giants. And surprisingly, the Blue Jays appear to be the popular dark horse candidate, which they are every single season. As a Blue Jay fan myself, I'm not setting myself up for failure as I did with the Shohei Ohtani sweepstakes, but this is huge news, man. This is massive. Steve Cohen already flying to go meet with the guy? I mean, they're clearly headed in a positive direction. Now, my only question is, why is Juan Soto in California? That is my only question mark here. If I'm a Mets fan, I'm looking at that and saying, ooh, why is he there? Is he signing with the Dodgers? Are they trying to pry him away from Los Angeles? I don't know what's going on there. I don't know the full extent or the full details of that, but still, Steve Cohen has been on record saying that he will not be outbid for the services of the 26-year-old superstar outfielder that is Juan Soto. And if you needed a reminder on how good he actually is, let's take a look at his walks since entering Major League Baseball. 769 walks, which blows out Bryce Harper out of the water. With who's the next closest at 538. So most walks since Juan Soto's MLB debut. It's not particularly close. He's the most patient hitter in baseball. He's one of the most feared hitters in baseball, and his numbers at the end of the season reflect that year in, year out. He is a superstar in every possible way, off the field, just overall. This guy is an absolute stud, and any team that goes out and acquires him is just going to be an instant World Series contender. That's how good he is. He's going to make you a contender because he's a generational level hitter. There is no doubting that. So the New York Mets, they were close this year. They lost in 6 games in the NLCS. And I think getting Juan Soto will really unlock them and allow them to become that World Series contender that some fans think that they can be, but it won't stop there. If they manage to get Juan Soto, they're going to spend an absolute bag on Pete Alonso. They're going to go out and get some starting pitching. There is no limit to what Steve Cohen is going to spend. And breaking news here, Hector Gomez, who is one of the more reliable MLB insiders in terms of relationships with the Latin players and the Dominican players, talks are centering around the fact that the Mets may make Soto the highest paid player of all time. And he said, quote, it'd be very surprising if Juan Soto does not sign with the New York Mets. That's what Hector Gomez had to say. So that's another bomb right there that was dropped. This is the initial bomb that he's going to fly and meet with him. And we were expecting Juan Soto to sign a contract at winter meetings. It may happen a lot sooner than we anticipated if Steve Cohen is already flying out to meet the guy. Now, I get it's a long process. If you want to make him the highest paid player in baseball, you're going to need to meet extensively over the course of months and weeks and days. And Steve Cohen is just doing his due diligence right now. But just to show you that money is an object to him, let's take a look at this. If Steve Cohen wants something, he won't be outbid. One of my favorite parts of the book, Black Edge, is when Bobby Steinberg offered Steve Cohen $1 million to walk away from a property they were both interested in purchasing. This is how Cohen responded. Now take a look at this, guys. Cohen said this: "What am I going to do with $1 million?" Cohen said. Then paused. "Here's what I'll do," he said. "Let's flip a coin for it." "What?" Steinberg said. "I'll flip you for it," Cohen said. Steinberg was insulted. He knew that his wife would be horrified if she found out that he had flipped a coin in order to buy their house. It was absurd. "No," he said. Cohen hung up the phone. Then he called his real estate agent, raised his bid to $14.8 million, and bought the house with cash. That is classic, man. You know, you can hate Steve Cohen, you can hate the New York Mets all you want, but a story like that's got to make you laugh. And he's got FU money. That's the amount of money that this guy has available at his disposal. And there's no limits to what he's willing to spend in order to make his team the best possible version of itself. You got to respect it. Every owner in Major League Baseball is a billionaire. Every single one of them. So they can open up their checkbooks just as much as Steve Cohen can. Maybe not to the extent that Steve Cohen does it, but you get what I mean. This is pennies to them. Millions of dollars. He said, "What am I going to do with $1 million?" Well, Steve, I'll tell you what, I'll gladly take that $1 million. I will gladly take that $1 million, but it's different, man. There is levels to this game of life, and Steve Cohen is at the top. In terms of monetary, financial, whatever, he is right at the top, and he's not going to be outbid. He will not be outbid for the services of Juan Soto. I predict Soto to go to the Mets, 13 years, $660 million. I don't know if he's going to be the highest paid player. I don't know if he's going to eclipse that $700 million mark that Shohei established as a benchmark, but there's only one Shohei. And all due respect to Juan Soto, he is not Shohei Ohtani, but what he is he's younger, and I feel like he can stay healthier than Shohei can over the course of the rest of their careers. So that is a positive when you are targeting a guy like Soto as opposed to Ohtani, but comparing apples and oranges here. I would take either guy on my team in a heartbeat, and Juan Soto is going to be the most sought-after free agent maybe ever. And Steve Cohen is going to make sure that he does whatever he can in his power to go out and acquire him. But that'll wrap it up for this episode of 3 Up, 3 Down. Thanks, guys, so much for making it this far. Really appreciate the support. And again, make sure to hit that subscribe button. It would mean the world to me. And let me know in the comments down below, where do you think Juan Soto is going to land? Do you think the Mets should be favored to acquire his services? And what do you think a contract looks like for the 26-year-old slugging outfielder who's going to finish top 3 in MVP voting yet again this season? That'll wrap it up, and I will see you all next week.